Hey guys, and welcome to Armchair Conversations with Rob. You know, to change your life, you have to change your life. But sometimes it's not a simple thing for a couple of reasons. And the ones I want to touch on today are a little bit about what I've come to expect and what I've noticed in the process of becoming a different person. Not so different that, like, I'm not myself anymore, but I've definitely become a different person in terms of working on myself to be and behave in different ways than I used to. Ways that I think weren't as powerful and empowering as the ones that I have now. So let's play with that. What is one of the things that we use as far as terms and phrases to describe people who um, continue to do the same things over and over, almost predictably? We say that they're stable, that they're somebody you can count on, that they are we use words even like dogmatic and things of that nature too, but most of the time we say that that person is stable, or that they're a rock, or that they're somebody you can count on, and we pat them on the back for being that. And it's okay, because I'm not going to knock anybody today. I just want to get you to think about some things, maybe add to your repertoire, not so much take away but add. But a person who is constantly trying new things, or is not um, repetitive in the same things that they do over and over, what do we say about them? I've heard words like flake, unstable, um, emotionally labile. A person I know will enjoy that one very much. Um, that they're not reliable, that they're fickle. None of these terms seem very positive, do they? But they're describing people who are in a state of flux or change. And so those who are willing to think about it, I want you to think about that. Why would we pat people on the back and congratulate them for being the same, and doing the same things all the time and not changing or evolving, and think that that's positive? And then the person who's actually reaching and searching and looking for things, we would treat them and say of them, and the words we use to describe them are somewhat negative. Um, because we don't use words like flexible, adaptable, etc., which are the things that I think now that I've actually embarked on a journey to change myself and have been for a while. Um, well, let me ask you another question too. How do we react to people who are changing all the time? Those of us who like the status quo maybe don't respond so well to people who are changing all the time. Um, it's kind of like, say you like a certain thing about a person, but then they're fishing for something else, looking for something else, seeking, because maybe they haven't gotten to a place where they know who they are and they've solidified their personality. And so, they change the way they walk, they change the way they talk, they change their hairstyle, their smile, their perfume, their clothes, their cars, their location. Um, and those of us who like some semblance of order and consistency have a problem with that, don't we? I'm going to ask the question, why do you think that that's a bad thing for those of you that do? And again, this is not a judgment issue, this is just talking. Why do you think it's a bad thing? This person is trying to discover themselves and evolve into such a thing as fits them and makes them happy and pleasurable. Why would we have a problem with that? Don't know. And your answer to that question will be your own. But to those who are changing and seeking and growing and doing things differently, um, I'm here to give you a brief warning, a somewhat fun, tongue in cheek warning, but a warning nonetheless. There are going to be times when you're going to have a lot of difficulty in the process of changing and try to find yourself. There are people who aren't going to like it. There are people who are going to out and out attack you. And there are people who are going to uh, sabotage your quote unquote success at trying to find the things that fit you. You see, because people tend to, like I say, reward the things that are stable or what they think is stable. And the things that are in change or in flux, they tend to look at suspiciously. They look out the corner of their eye and they maybe don't like it. But what they're subconsciously sometimes saying is, we liked you better when you were this way or that way. Or people will say stuff like, you changed. You should. um, but again, the changing for who's better, they're better, you're better. And sometimes you can't be swayed by that, even if it means that you have to lose friends and not influence people, as it were. But they liked you better when you were this way that you were before, because maybe you were easier to manage for them. Maybe you provided them less discomfort. Maybe at the deeper hateration level, you didn't poke holes in their theories and beliefs about themselves. Because this is what I want to put to you, and I found this one to be very interesting in my life. I've had a few people in my life at different points that, as I grew, they became more and more unhappy with me because what I changed into, what I was becoming, poked holes in that neat little tarp that they had covering their um, truth, uh, for lack of a better word. Because when someone thinks that they're patient and they're not, and you become patient, you become a threat to them in the sense of that you're now showing them that they're not what they thought they were. And there are some people that aren't going to like your changes because of that. Um, when you become the things that other people say that they are but aren't really, that's a threat. And so you're not necessarily going to be liked for that. And so I'm here to warn you that there are going to be times as you change and grow and evolve where you're going to lose some friends. You're going to have people not like you. You're going to have people sabotage you. You're going to have people fight you. But honestly, you should get excited because that means you're on the right track. Because when people that are not seeking have discomfort with you, you know that you're in the position of changing, growing, and evolving. Um, and it is okay to change, and it is okay not to be stoic and dogmatic on a subject or an action for the rest of your life. It is okay to grow in such a way that you don't do the things you used to do anymore, because you now have to let them go in favor of the level that you're trying to reach. There was a guru that said once to a guy that I know that as he began to change and grow, there were certain things that were just going to fall by the wayside, that he simply either would lose the desire to do anymore or could not do anymore if he wanted to progress to the next level. One of those, in this case, was drugs. You will not be able to smoke weed and do certain drugs anymore because of the fact that you are now meditating and you're changing your energy and you're cultivating your body and your spirit, and you are not going to be able to do those things and keep the gifts you have attained or go to the next level. Um, and it kind of upset my friend for a little while, but he realized that, it's true. It's simply he was not going to be able to do those things anymore and get to the next level or continue to enjoy the level that he had attained. And so this is what I say to the people that want to change and grow. You're going to have to leave some things behind simply because of the fact that they're not going to serve you anymore. Okay? It's the same as when you develop a different sense of the energy of the world and the universe, and your spiritual energies become more sensitive. Some of the rules that you had before, when you were very concrete and everything was very, matter and form and solid and very scientifically based with all these rules, some of those things you have to let go as you change and grow to another level. And you have a different set of rules that apply to those things. It's just like the rules in math aren't necessarily going to be the same rules that apply in painting or in, you know, tortoise racing. There are some things that are going to cross over, so all the mathematicians in the world who love their math and see how it relates to everything, don't get upset with me. But I'm just saying some of the rules aren't going to relate over. Symmetry isn't going to relate with something that's asymmetrical. There's no way to take that and make it work. You have to modify. And so I'm saying the same for people who are changing. You have to modify. But I warn you ahead of time, you are going to incur some wrath, and you are going to lose some things in order to gain others. And that is okay. Just like it's okay 10 years from now to be doing something radically different than what you're doing today. And it doesn't make you fickle or inconsistent. It does make you flexible and adaptable. And I commend you for it. So this was just a really brief talk about flexing and changing, and that it's okay to do so. And that for whatever reason, those who you incur the slings and arrows of in your process are people who just either don't understand or maybe aren't going with you to the next level, because there's a reason why they didn't make it to your future if they're not there. A reason. And if you look back and don't romanticize it, you'll probably be able to figure it out pretty quickly why. It's like the alcohol you can't put in your body anymore once you get to a certain level of spiritual development. It's a poison, so you cannot put it in there and continue to do or acquire the new things that predicate your body being cleaner than that. So anyway, my point is go, change, grow, and be. And don't let anybody stop you, and don't let anybody tell you that you're less than or inconsistent because you change a lot. You've got to find your niche, and you've got to play with the things that work for you. And those things aren't going to be comfortable for everybody who's in your life now or for people who were in your life. That's the reason why they didn't make it to your future. Anyway, thanks for sharing my armchair. And again, I wish you good luck and good growth.